Awesome. Okay, Candace, feel free to say
Thanks for everyone's time.
Awesome.
Really appreciate it, and good luck out there, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Candace. Okay, cool. Excellent. So that was Candace. Candace, as you know, was with us on Oxford Capital. But the great thing about that is obviously the commission for the exits. Just give you an idea, the Crema deal we're just waiting at the moment, 5.5% term sheet, $80 million deal. The thing about that is the sales exit for that project is phenomenal. 190 apartment. Now, because of the financing, we've got an exclusive on that. We asked for 6 months because I thought 6 months is about the right timing. Too long, it becomes stale. Too short, we can't sell. So 6 months is about right. We can extend that. The commission is 3.3% full comps, right? So that's kind of the idea. So that's a lot of money for those apartments. I've got Ben on the line here. Ben.
Hey,
hey brother, how are you, man?
Yeah, good. How is everyone going?
Look at you, man. Look at you. All right. Ben, can I just quickly introduce Ben?
Yeah, of course.
Ben is obviously a very, very experienced broker. So Ben, we've got a whole bunch of people online today, brokers and agents.
Yep.
So you may want to talk about obviously your background, but obviously the leads is where I think we can definitely help. So Ben is obviously an independent mortgage broker, very, very experienced, currently works with Rate Money, right? So Rate Money is obviously specializes in low doc. You may want to talk about low doc, full doc, that kind of stuff. But yeah, go for it.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I prepared a presentation, but we can just have it as an open chat if you guys prefer.
No, I will.
I don't know what the structure is.
No, it's easy. I will give you co-hosting status.
Right, so, while you're doing that, Paul, I'll just introduce myself.
Yeah.
So my background, as Paul said, I'm a mortgage broker by trade. But I started in lending in the credit space. So I originally started at CUA, if you guys are in Queensland, Credit Union Australia. And then I went to RAMS / Westpac head office in the credit space. And I was there for about 3 years as a senior credit manager. From there, I went out to RAMS Norwest, which was a franchise of RAMS, obviously. And we specialize in the low doc lending space. The product was underwritten by Westpac, and in 18 months at RAMS Norwest, we settled $1 billion in low doc. Unfortunately, in 2019, Westpac pulled out of the low doc space. So we were left with a lot of referrals and a lot of business, but nowhere to place it. So we started a company called Rate Money. And so I'll share my screen now and we'll go through exactly what Rate Money is. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, I think that's working. Okay, so Rate Money was started with one principle. What we wanted to do, like I said, was to find a solution for self-employed clients, primarily in the low doc space, but we do have full doc offerings. We were started by 3 ex-RAMS franchises, principal owners. So that was the top 3 low doc writers in New South Wales. And one of them directors was on the board of Think Tank, which is one of our funders. So he got us white label low doc funding, which allowed us to emulate the product that we were writing at RAMS. So our journey, we started in 2019. We had 3 offices to begin with. So they were North Sydney, Norwest and Parramatta. And we expanded to 11 offices in 2020. So it was kind of an exponential growth. Unfortunately, obviously COVID kicked in early 2020, but we did manage to settle $600 million in low doc lending. We also brought on a general manager and a chief operations officer after I left head office. And since that time, this year, we've settled $1 billion in low doc. We're averaging about 100 million in submissions per month, and our goal is to settle 2 billion in a 12-month period. Again, unfortunately, COVID has probably slowed down some of our growth. So in numbers, that means we've assisted 1,000 clients or over 1,000 clients. I currently have, across the full Rate Money network, we have 684 referral partners. They are a mix of real estate agent, mortgage brokers, financial planners, accountants, basically anyone that's in the lending space or deals with clients in the lending space. Like I said, settled over $1 million and over $1 billion, and we've got 17 offices across the Eastern Seaboard at the moment. We are expanding to Queensland soon, hopefully, and Tasmania is also coming on board. We were nominated for the Australian Lending Awards, both Best Specialist Lender and Best Self-Employed Lender. Fortunately, we didn't win them, but I think Pepper won both of them. But even to be nominated after 18 months of trading was great for us. We're up against some pretty big competition. So what sets us apart, really? So we're the self-employed specialists. So we're all self-employed, we're all independent, we're all small business owners. And so we set ourselves apart because we understand the needs of self-employed borrowers. Main draw is that we don't charge risk fees. So on none of our low doc products do we charge any sort of risk fee or mortgage insurance. And that is essentially following the XRAMS model, but also passing them benefits on to your customers. And we don't also make any false promises. So we will have them difficult conversations with the client if needed. But essentially, we will work out the best solution for your clients every time. So obviously, I don't know how many brokers we've got on the line at the moment, but just some clarity on what a low doc home loan is. So shorthand for low documentation. So it is whether you've got a self-employed client who's a sole trader in a partnership, under a trust, under a company, contractor, however you want to structure it, anyone that's not PAYG. Or even pays themselves a wage from a company, but ultimately owns that company. So there's a variety of solutions based on the employment structure. A low doc home loan is not a no doc home loan. So there is some sort of income verification that we need to do. Again, what sets us apart is we have one form of income verification. So a lot of lenders will have two. A lot of mortgage aggregators will require two as well. So we can verify income with just an accountant's letter or 6 months BAS. Funders, we are a mortgage manager, so we've got multiple funding lines, but an ABN registration is normally 6 months and a GST registration is normally 6 months as well, but we do have some options for less than 6 months, but that's a rule of thumb. So mortgage insurance, LMI and mortgage insurance. So mortgage insurance is one-off non-refundable fee that doesn't cover the customer. It is an insurance in place to cover the bank. On most loans, or most banks, that's applicable if the LVR exceeds 80%. So that's fairly standard. What's not standard a lot of the time is a risk fee. So risk fee is charged on what you call riskier products, I suppose, and low doc may fall into that space a lot of the time. And risk fee is normally a percentage of the loan amount. So on an average loan in Sydney, 680,000, don't know what you're going to buy for that in Sydney, but you'd be looking at saving the customer 10,000 or 10,000 that the customer would have to pay. And that can be capitalized onto the loan or paid up front, but regardless, the customer has to pay that eventually because it's, again, non-refundable. So how we're different? So we're different. We don't have zero risk fees, again, on any of our products. We do fully assessed pre-approvals. So that is kind of, there's not many lenders out there that are doing fully assessed pre-approvals at the moment. So especially for a lot of the agent guys, if you got someone going to auction, we can get their pre-approval in place. Simple expense verification. So we don't require expense accounts. So we will have a conversation with the client prior to submission and work out their expenses. Electronic ID. So clients don't have to go into branches, or they don't have to go see a JP or anything like that. They can do it all electronically. Also, loan documents are issued electronically. So again, especially with the COVID, climate at the moment. Everything's trying to be done remotely. We've got an Australian-based customer service team. Everyone in Rate Money is based in Australia, and we've got multiple funding options. So if we can't make it fit at one funder, we can switch and go to another funder. And you'll get your own relationship manager, which is me. And so our niches, so we do unlimited cash out based on acceptable purpose, really, but unlimited cash out uncontrolled as well. We do unlimited debt con, and we do tax debt con as well. So if someone's got a tax set that they want to pay out, we could do that. We can do up to 7.5 mil across all 4 of our funding lines. Obviously no LMI, no RSV at 80%. And we can do just an accountant's deck only, or if the client can provide BAS, we could do 40% of gross turnover on their BAS. High density units and off the plan, along with vacant land. Now, I've highlighted them because there are nuances between different funders, and different funders will treat high density or define high density differently. But essentially, anything that you've got in a high density development, we will have an option for it, as well as vacant land. So vacant land and LODOC is a bit hard at the moment, but we do have an option there up to 70%. But we don't have a construction product LODOC at the moment. So if we do purchase a vacant land, if clients do want to purchase vacant land, it'll be held until they can construct, and we might have to refinance them out at that stage. So our products, so our bread and butter product is what we call Think Money. So rates start off at 3.05%, and they go all the way up to 4.29%. So varying on what the LVR is and what the loan amount is, your rates will be tiered. You can go up to 80% for loans up to $1 million, 75% for loans up to $1.5 million, or if you offer 2 securities, we can do 80% at $2 million. Standard locations are Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane Metro, and some of the major hubs in Sydney and Melbourne. Anything non-metro we can do, but they'll define non-metro as anything over 10,000 people as population size. For hot money, so you might notice a theme with some of these products. So hot money is a larger loan that we can offer, so we can go to 80% for 1.5 million. Rates are slightly higher, but it will allow you to purchase a little bit extra, or your clients to purchase a little bit extra. Categories, I think they're Genworth categories, but they're Cat 1, Cat 2. It's a pretty generous location, so anything that you've got, unless it's super remote, it should fall into one of them 2 categories. The other 2 options we've got, so we've got a House Money Easy Doc at the moment. That's only up to 60%, so I've kind of highlighted that one on its own. So we can do 60% for loans up to $1 million. The great thing about that is the rate. So it's at 2.89% at the moment, or interest-only investment 3.54, which is super competitive. And again, that's Cat 1 and Cat 2 locations. They're pretty broad, that funder. So I've got doing some quite remote locations in that area. So they've got a really good property locator. Then Mac Money, which is our newest funder, they have introduced a COVID policy. So there is actually 2 forms of income with that funder at the moment. And they just want to see 30 days business bank account statements to confirm that the business is still trading profitably. They will do 2.99% P&I up to 80% on loans up to $1 million, 75% for 1.5. We also have some larger loan funding available to us. So we can go up to $2.5 million at 65% for residential. Okay, so what does that all mean? Our relationship. So we will look after your clients like you do. So we see ourselves as, well, it will be a referral agreement, but we see ourselves as a partner to your business. So we all understand that these clients are high value and important to you, and we'll treat them as such. And obviously we will work closely with you and the client to find the best solution for them. We will keep you guys in the loop with everything that we do, obviously, and depending on how we structure your referral agreement, which we'll get into in Q&A, we can talk directly to the client. We can do the application directly with them, or we can work with you to complete the application with the client, however you want to structure it. And to get on board, so all you need to do is we'll send you through your accreditation to me. I'll be your relationship manager. I will set aside some more training for you guys, if you like, just to go into more depth on our loans, because we do have more than we've gone through today. But so we do some commercial stuff, some SMSF stuff as well. And then we can start referring. So you can start sending your leads, start sending your applications through to me, and we can take it from there. And I'll open it up to Q&A.
Hi there.
Hey.
Hi. Do you need a full assessment like asset and liabilities of the client?
If they're held in personal name, so we will just assess whatever assets, liabilities is in their personal name. If they've got multiple companies, even if it is the income declared company or where they're deriving their income from, we don't need to account for it in our A&L position.
Okay.
Is any of the brokers on the line, is anyone writing for LODOC loans at the moment?
No.
Well, now you can start.
That's good. Sounds like a very good service, actually.
So one more thing, like do we just give it to you number and name of the client, then you deal directly with them, or we collect everything and we can do either way?
Yeah, well, it depends on what you trade under. So as a mortgage broker, if we have a referral agreement with a mortgage broker and you're licensed or you're a credit representative of an ACL, you can deal directly with the client, and we'll provide you with our fact finds and our sworn documents to refer onto us. But it all comes down to who maintains the relationship. So I would normally, with my mortgage brokers that I have referrals for, or referral agreements in place, they will provide me with the fact find for the client, sworn docs, and I will submit that for them on their behalf. Because it's a referral agreement, the compliance requirements always lies with Rate Money. So I will always contact the client prior to submission to obviously introduce myself, tell them about Rate Money and do my needs analysis with them. So all that compliance will remain with us, but the relationship would be with you.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and I guess, sorry, just jump in, Ben. I guess it depends on who's doing the referral, right? Whether you're a broker or an agent, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So
Yeah.
if you're an agent and you're not a credit representative, it would be a name and number referral.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what I've always said. It's good to be both a broker and an agent.
Yeah, well, that's the best of both worlds.
Many times.
Yeah.
And you're aggregator indifferent, correct? You don't really care which aggregator we go through. We have an aggregator, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a direct relationship.
It's a direct relationship. So it's, I guess, what you'd call off-panel referral.
Yeah.
So we have our own aggregator that we can do, bank loans through. But for the Rate Money products, it would be an off-panel. So we're not built into aggregators at the moment.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, and I'm a client of Ben's. I love his service, and we have a mutual agreement too. So that's another thing for the agents. And if Ben refers clients to us, for selling, buying, whatever, and vice versa. So that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's where we fit into referral agreements, especially in the LODOC space, even for mortgage brokers. And some mortgage brokers just don't do LODOC. or they won't have access to our products because they're white label products.
Mm.
And so it doesn't make up your main source of business or income. So if you know, engage a specialist and refer it on to me, we'll get the loan done.
That's the thing. I think a lot of our brokers and agents are independent businesses.
Mhm.
And I think I saw from your slide, you know, people ask me all the time, should it be a company structure, trust structure? Do I register for GST? All that kind of stuff. I think it's pretty clear. Like, obviously, if you're an agent or a broker, what is it? Company, trust, GST? What do you think?
So as an acceptable form of employment, you can be anything. So
You
as
anything,
long,
right?
yeah, as long as you've got an ABN. So it's a trust, if someone's purchasing in a trust, that's fine. If they're trading under a company, if they've got a partnership, if they're a sole trader, any sort of ABN or entity that we can trace back the income, that's fine for us to accept.
Okay.
If they're a beneficiary of a trust, you just need to see a trust deed to confirm ownership. We've just got to link that company where they're declaring the income to that person.
Perfect. And do you have to be paying yourself a consistent salary, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. So you declare an income per annum. So however that works, whether you pay it as a director's fee at the end of the financial year, or you take a wage out of the business, as long as you are able to declare an income and have an accountant to support it, then that's fine. Or you can show your VATs, which shows your total sales over a full year or 6 months, and then we'll just annualize that.
Okay, perfect. Are there any other questions that we could answer, that Ben can answer?
Fantastic.
Yeah, so this is tracked automatically through a software that we have. Obviously, we have a multi-layer marketing thing attached to a referral thing. So the software will automatically track that referral. And then obviously, as you know, Ben, it's Sales Tracker. Sales Tracker does a great job paying people automatically. Saves us, you know, doing that monthly. But everything is tracked. All the referrals tracked. The same thing with private finance, what Candace was talking about before. That's also tracked in the back end as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. Are there any other questions from anyone? Cool. All right.
I'll pass on Paul's got my details, so I'll obviously send this slide through plus further product information. I will be the relationship manager for the entire Oxbridge group. So if you've got any questions, or if you need to know any further info, just don't hesitate to give me a call, obviously.
Perfect.
Would you a summary of that your slideshow would be lovely.
Yeah, no problem. We'll do.
Yeah, Ben's already on the WhatsApp group, so you could definitely
I'm on there.
Announce your presence, man. Announce your presence.
For a second, I thought, because I use RP data as well, and so I saw the messages last night, and I thought, well, if I logged into the wrong RP data, to log everyone out.
And I'll give you more access if you want. We've got Price Finder, we've got Cordell, if you want Cordell, a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
cool.
And like Paul said, it's obviously a two-way street. Like, I'm looking for, Rate Money is always looking for referral partners that we can service our clients as well on the other end. So I was listening to, sorry, I forget her name, but the previous lady speaking, and some of that stuff looks fantastic as well.
Yeah, and certainly private finance is something that you may want to get into one day, Ben.
Yeah. Well, some of them loan amounts, I think I will. Yeah.
Oh, crazy comps. Fantastic. Thank you, Ben, for joining us today. And
no problem.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Ben.
Bye.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
All right. It's been a long session today. We're about to take an intermission. I think Trevor has just joined. Trevor.
I'm here, Paul.
Hey, I'll make you a co-host. So you can do whatever you want. You could control the screen, and you can show off your latest software. But Trevor has been for a very long time now the account person for Eagles. Been very, very supportive. Eagles has been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So in terms of the functions, the new feasibility stuff that you've come up with, digital proposition that may be coming up soon, So I thought it'd be a good time to maybe educate some of the agents and brokers on some of the functions not being used, because Eagles is pretty powerful, but I think very, very, very small minority of people use all the functions.
Yeah.
So yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Paul. Really appreciate the opportunity to come and address the team. And as I said, we'd love to do this on a monthly basis for you because we're constantly evolving. We're bringing out new products, new features all the time. And yeah, if it's okay, I might just share my screen because this it really helps if people can see where to go and look for these things within Eagle. If someone wants to enter the room, I don't know if I have to hit admit, but I'll let him in. So, and yeah, we've come a long way with Eagle in the last few years. I think Paul and I first met about 3 years ago, probably even more. But yeah, we've been looking after the Oxbridge Group for their CRM and their website in that time. And obviously, as you guys have grown, more people have become introduced to Eagle and how it works. Now, the big news for Eagle, just in case people weren't aware, in the last month or so, Eagle has joined what's called PropTech Group. So PropTech Group is a publicly listed company. So you're more than welcome if you enjoy the services of Eagle and you'd like to invest in PropTech Group, you're more than welcome to. They're publicly listed on the stock exchange. And they own some other brands as well. So just to give you an update, they purchased the My Desktop CRM solution. A lot of people might be aware of that. It's been around a long time. They also purchased Vault RE, and Vault RE is very much used with all the Ray Whites, all the Rain and Horn. So very good presence in that franchise group sort of model. But they also own some other services as well, and you're more than welcome to go and explore those. What Paul alluded to was our relationship with some of these other providers. So I suppose Eagle is very much a CRM, customer relationship management. And the CRM is very much about storing all the information within the software. But we can't do everything. And that's why there are other service providers who specialize in what they're doing and providing additional services to what we have. So again, we try and integrate with those people as much as possible. But Paul mentioned to us that a lot of the team members were looking for digital proposals and that type of solution. So the good news is that because of us joining PropTech Group, we're going to be able to offer the services of Designly. And what Designly do is basically digital content or digital presentations, of which proposal will be one of those things. Now, how that's going to work within Eagle, we're not exactly sure yet, but there will be an offering for that soon. And we will definitely let people know when that occurs. So that's the good news with that. And it will also help us enhance our marketing module. And our marketing module, for people who aren't aware, is where if you wanted to send out a bulk email campaign to people, that's the module for doing that. Okay, so this module here is going to be revamped. So that's a bit of an update about the company, Eagle. Everything stays the same, our support, our developers, our sales team and everyone, we're all the same. So each of these businesses are still offering their services independently of each other. Now, with regards to Eagle and the CRM, and maybe not being aware of what's available within the CRM, I might just point out a couple of things prior to delving into some of the exact features. But up the top here, we have this help area, and it's really important for you to be aware of it, because if you ever need help, there's a couple of areas. There is self-help. So it's an area where you can go and access our articles and library of articles, and you can search anything you want in here as well. So you can type in a keyword and it will bring up a result for you. So it's worthwhile being aware of that. We also have what's called our Eagle Academy. So if you're new to the Oxbridge Group and you have been given access to Eagle, you might want to learn about how to use it, and you might want to do this training in your own time. So some of these modules you don't need to do because the system has already been set up for you, okay? But you might want to learn more about listing management. How do I add my listings into the software? It is very simple to do once you get an idea how to do it, but we have these short videos that you can work through. They don't go for long. Some of them are 2 minutes, 5 minutes at a time, but you can come in and do some self-training, okay, with all the videos. So we have ones for listing management, and depending on what types of property you are marketing, there are differences between residential sales and rentals, and also commercial properties, rural properties, and so forth. The other big area, especially for agents, is contact management. So again, this is a very important area. We've done a lot of upgrades to our contact management, but it really is an essential part of the CRM, how to manage contacts, how to stay in touch with contacts, and some of the other features within the contact screens. Okay, so I'd encourage you to wander up to this area here and check out the Eagle Academy. And the other big one is the release notes. So we are constantly evolving. We never stand still. And what we do every fortnight is a roundup of all the improvements that have happened within Eagle. And some of these things you might notice when you're in the software, you go, oh, that's changed. And it's because, we are very proactive in getting people, updating the service, getting feedback from people, and making the system and the app as easy to use as possible. And that's another big one, the mobile app, that has had an enormous amount of work over the last few months. So we do have an in-house app developer, and I'm seeing updates sometimes 3 times a week on the app, just again to make things work the way they should. So it's really worthwhile coming in and seeing some of the new innovations that we're building into the software. So they're just some of the things I'd discuss. Oh, and the other part is the chat service as well. So if you need to reach out to support, and some people like self-help as well, you can run a search in here. We have a little chat bot, so it can help you find the information quickly, or you can start a conversation with one of our team members, and everything's recorded, everything's kept in the software. Okay. So that's something I'd encourage you to go and visit when you're in the software. The other thing is we did do a session with Bethany from head office yesterday. James and Bethany got together, and we've been talking to a few of the members of Oxbridge, and they're wanting to introduce automations into their service. Now, the difficulty we have is because the Oxbridge account is so big and covers a lot of different people, we have to try and find a balance that works for everybody. Okay, so what Bethany and James will be doing is working on the automations at a group level for you. So, and they will be some very specific ones. And I should preface this by saying, most people come to Eagle for 2 main reasons. One is the simplicity of the software and how it works. The other big one is our automations. So if I go into our automations, now not everyone will be able to see the automations. It does depend on your permission setting within the software, but you can be assured, and you might want to check with Bethany, what automations are running. She might put out a communication or something to let you know, because what will happen is when you're adding properties in or inquiries are being captured, it will send things out to people, and you need to be aware of what those things that are going out. So just to give you an example of some of the very basic automations that can happen within your software, incoming inquiries. This is probably one of the most used automations within Eagle across all of our clients, because it saves an awful lot of time, especially in this market where we're talking to agents who are getting hundreds of inquiries on properties, and it just becomes quite hard to manage that level of inquiries. So with the automations, and just to give you an example as to how they work, it's really simple. We have what's called trigger events, and these trigger events, once they occur, set in place these automations. So the automation will run through various steps. these steps are sometimes checks and balances, because what we want to do is make sure that, you know, anything that's being sent out is going to an active listing, maybe not a sold listing or a withdrawn listing. So we're protecting you in that regard as well. We can also do different types of automations depending on the property type. So if you're doing residential sales, there could be a different automation to a residential rental inquiry. Okay, so we can build those in. We can also assign the inquiry to the first listing agent. So if you're listing your properties, those contacts can be assigned to you. And we can also do a level of group management for you as well. So all the buyers are put into the buyer group, all the tenants put into the tenant group, and so forth. Now, this is where we have to find that balance that I was talking about, a reply email to these people. So I think the whole intention of this reply email automation is really just to thank them for their inquiry. Obviously, we want to personalize it by merging in their name and obviously the address that they inquired on. But what we can also do is maybe go a little bit further and provide a little bit more information for them, maybe when the next inspection time is, or link them back to the property on the website. Okay, so we can do little things like that. If you're wanting to take it a little bit further and have more personalized customizations in these auto replies, we might need to look at a separate account for you. And that's certainly possible. We have done it for a few of the Oxbridge people who want to have, it's still an account, but it's attached to the main Oxbridge account. Okay, but we can certainly help you with those things. But as I said, we need to find that balance that will work for everyone across the board. And if we can keep it as generic as possible, it will work. So that's just one automation that we have in the software. And James and Bethany will be working through some of the other ones that we feel could work at that group level. You know, it could be a very simple one like notifying the vendor or landlord that their property is now online. So if you upload your property and everything is up to date as it should be, once it goes active and is uploaded to the portal, the system can automatically notify the vendor or landlord that that's happened. There is a caveat to that. You do need to enter their details into the software to make that work. So there are some things you need to enter to make some of these automations work as well. Okay, so I just thought I'd touch on that. We do have a whole range of administrative automations that can be turned on. If you're on the property management side of real estate, we do have some specific leasing ones as well. There can be some as well. Again, we need to be careful and conscious of making them work for everybody, but there are some prospecting ones that you could use as well. If you're looking for prospective sellers, you know, we can turn these ones on. You just need to know how to start them, how to trigger them. And again, we have some on buyer management or on the sales side of the business as well. And we can custom build them as well. So if there's any information that Paul provides you or you've worked on as a group and you want to create your own unique Oxbridge automations, we can build them in, and especially around workflows as well. So if we're exchanging contracts or things like that, we can have some internal automations working so people are notified when things are happening with that property. So I suppose that's a bit of a recap on the automations. And in some of these columns here, you can see if you have access to this area, you'll be able to see, you know, which automations are running or which ones are on and so forth. But just be mindful of that. Speak to Bethany if you have any interest in the automations, and I'm sure she'll update you on that part. So coming back to the software, and I suppose the other thing I should mention, there is a chat here that I can see. If you feel like asking some questions, maybe putting them in the chat, because at the end of what I show you, we will go through some Q&A as well. A couple of little things that we've added into the software that you should be aware of, and this is across the board, across all the main areas here, is we've spent a lot of time updating what we call the activity feed. And the activity feed is an area where, and again, it's coming back to this contact management section of the database, but it's where you're adding your notes or sending an email to someone, or maybe an SMS through the software, or your task management and appointments. So the whole idea is that we want to be able to keep all the information as much as possible within the CRM. So when you're looking at the record, you can see the full history of everything that's happened with that person. So we've updated this area. If you wanted to say add a note, which could be a follow-up phone call, and you want to record that, you can make it a connected call. You can type in what the call was about. And then we also have this area down the bottom where you can do a follow-up task from that call. Okay, so when I add that note, it's not just going to record the call conversation, but it's also going to have the note and a task for me to follow up in a few days' time. So that's really important when you're doing your follow-ups, especially on buyers. Now, what I'll do is I'll just come back to a listing. And this is something else that we've worked really hard on because we've had a lot of feedback, people wanting to report back to their vendors. And we looked at it and we were asking questions about vendor reporting. And a lot of people were telling us that they were emailing their vendor reports as attachments. And that's great. But we thought, what can we do? How can we do it better? And what we came up with was an interactive owner portal. So what this means is if you're managing your buyers, so we're on the property record here and we have our buyers, anyone that might have inquired or inspected the property and you've recorded them as such, you can do your follow-up from this area here. So if I'm talking to Simone, I can see that she inspected the property on the 17th of the 8th. But if I wanted to do a follow-up call, similar to what I showed you just then, I can add a note in the call and it was connected. And did you want to show that on your vendor report? So you can select that and you might say we spoke about price. Okay. Then I can add that note and it will be updated in this area here. If I ever need to come back and edit a note or an inspection or an inquiry, I can do that here as well. And then the idea is you just move on to the next one and you just continue on down the screen. Some other things you can do, and I might, if I get time, bring in the app as well, because a lot of this information here about contracts being sent or getting pricing feedback on listings can be done via the app. So if you were asking people, what do you think the property will sell for? You can record that information. And again, this information is going to go into our vendor report, but it's important that you update this area first before producing the vendor report. So once I've done that, I'm then in a position to do my vendor report. But prior to that, we also give you an area where you can put in maybe a bit of a summary about what's going on since the last vendor report. So you can type in the information here. You've got access to all the formatting options. You can drop links in or pictures. It's really up to you. And you just click save. Then you can go and view the online vendor report. Now, what I'll do is make this a little bit bigger so we can all see it. You will have the Oxbridge brand up here. You will have your vendor's name and you will have the address. This works like a website. So these tabs here can be clicked in no specific order, but it will pull through the information. You have your property and the features and the current price. You'll have yourself as the listing agent. There's the comments area there. These numbers are automatically created by the software because we know how many days on market from when you first entered it. Because we're capturing the inquiries, we know how many there are. And if you're recording your inspections, we can record that as well. You don't have to enter these numbers. The system will do it for you. Then you have an option for marketing. Now, because your Oxbridge website is with Eagle, if there's been visits on that property on the website, it'll be recorded here. And my demo website doesn't get many visits, but you'll see here the inquiries, but it'll be a nice line graph again of the inquiries coming in. Same with the inspections being held. And where are those inquiries coming from? So because we're capturing them, we can see how many or what percentage are coming from REA or Domain or from open houses. And there'll also be a section here where it counts those inquiries from those various places. And again, we have more numbers if there's any property alerts and things going out. Then we have our feedback. So if you are updating that buyers table with the feedback of who's interested or who's not interested, again, you'll have a graph here to show that. You'll then, with the pricing feedback, if you are using that part of it, you'll see where the owners are at with their pricing, where are the buyers at with their pricing. And then we have each of those individual purchases and what their feedback is. So it presents really nicely. The other benefit is this is a unique URL for your owners. So they can come to this link at any time and see the latest information. So it's important that you are updating it if you're going to use it. If you're lucky enough to be able to do inspections, you will be able to break down the inspections by the number of people who attended and so forth. But at this point in time, where I am, we're not doing open inspections. We can still do private inspections, but not opens. And there is also an area for any files that might have been uploaded against this property. Now, the other exciting news about this is we're going to be expanding this further. This is just one area. We're looking at moving this into the appraisal section. So if you're doing appraisals for people, this owner link will be available there, and they'll be able to, and this is probably where the digital proposal and so forth will be coming into it. Okay, so we really want to make use of this owner portal for people. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's probably something that people might not have ventured into, but it's definitely there for you in your CRM under the vendor report. Just a couple other things. We went through the automations, vendor report, websites. So Paul did give me a bit of a rundown as to some of the things that we can talk to you about. Eagle can help you with your own website. And I know some of you might be running your own businesses and co-branding and things like that, and you want your own website presence. And that's great. So we can certainly help you with that. And there are a few different options for websites. So I suppose if we were to look at it from the beginning, we have, I suppose, at the individual level, what we call agent websites. So these are websites that typically work off the Oxbridge main account. So if you enter your your agent details, your profile details, they will pull through into this website. So obviously your name and your profile information will come through into here. But what it will also pull through is your current listings. Okay, so any listings you've got for sale or properties that you have sold, they'll come through as well. And you can nominate which ones you want to be featured. And this type of website works very well for you because it's very simple. It's like a flat page, I suppose, but it presents really well. And it's not an expensive option for a website. And if you are interested in one of these, you can talk to Paul and the team about organizing one of these via Eagle. Okay, so that's something, and we can even register a domain name for you. It doesn't have to be your name. It can be anything really, and we can do one of these websites. The next level up, I suppose, is if you are running maybe a team or an office and you're wanting maybe a little bit more than just an agent website, we do have those as well. So we have what's called starter websites. These websites are full office type websites. So they have more functionality within them. There is a whole different range of these websites that you can choose from in terms of the design. And what they come with are a lot more search options. So things like direct links to your open for inspections. You know, on the cell, it has a submenu for your appraisal or even just displaying your recently sold properties. If you do rentals and sales, you know, there's provision for separating the two types of properties you're dealing with. If you're marketing projects as well, there's a section for that. And then, you know, team profiles, as aside from an individual profile, team profiles for your business. Okay, so that's what we call a starter website. Now, with these websites, I do need to disclose, if you go for one of these, the layout is very much fixed. What you see is pretty much what you get. We obviously can apply your brand or the code brand with Oxbridge. That's no problem at all. We can change colors. That's no problem at all. But the layout on these ones is very much what you see is what you get. But they do work very well. And again, we can help. If you don't have a domain name, we can help register a domain name for you. And then I suppose we have the next level up, which are really our what we call our pro designs, and incorporated with our pro designs are our plus designs. So what we mean by a pro website, there's a different range of website designs, different styles. And what you're looking at here, I've probably gone a bit beyond the pro, but what this is what we call a plus website. Now, a plus website is really very much focused around lead generation. So if you're wanting to use your website to generate leads, and especially if you're doing established home sales, it's very good for that. So some of the lead generation components to it are something like this with a call to action: sell or rent your home with an agent who cares or goes above and beyond. But the idea is people would type in the address of their property, and then it would encourage them to fill in details for an appraisal. We also have some interactive calculators like what's called buyer demand, and it works for rental demand or tenant demand as well. So who's ready to buy your home? And the idea of this is people put in their details and then click calculate buyer demand, and it will go and run a search against the buyers that you have in your database and say, well, we've got 53 people looking for something similar. Again, give us your details and we'll organize an appraisal. And we've got some other interactive things as well. So the owner login, again, that ties in with that vendor report that I showed you earlier. So your owners could literally go to your own website and log in and see that information. If you're running any social media campaigns, advertising campaigns, we can load a Facebook pixel in there for you. So basically your ads follow that person around when they're on Facebook. And video background as well. So the idea of video background is really just to have that, it keeps people's attention on the website, okay? And again, similar to the starter website, we have a whole range of different search options and menu structures. Now, with a pro or a plus website, what we can do is we can do design changes. So different to what we've been doing with starter websites where the layout is very much fixed. These ones here we can modify. So a simple example would be you don't want 3 boxes, you want 6 boxes with something maybe cut in half and they're all equal size. We can do something like that. We can move sections around, but really that's where you would have to have a conversation with either myself or one of my other team members to deliver what you're looking for. But this again is another step beyond that type of website service. Okay, so just wanted to give you an update on that. Feel free to ask via Paul or Bethany about our website service as well, and we'll be able to find a solution that works for you. And then I suppose the other thing we wanted to just make you aware of was the some of the integrations that we've been able to do in the past year, I suppose. So I'm not sure if you're using any of these services. Paul did mention DripFlow. So we have set up that integration. And again, if you're looking for this type of information, it is available in our release notes. So this is a service that can help you with content creation for social media. So we do integrate with those people at DripFlow. We've also set up an integration with what's called Video Punch. So if you're looking at a simple solution to try and generate videos for properties, and especially in this market where we've got a lot of lockdown happening, videos are working really well, and they allow buyers to see the potential of properties, especially with videos and using photos and things to create those videos. Okay, so that's another integration that we have. And Campaign Agent. So this service helps people with vendor paid advertising, pay now, pay later type options. So again, that might be something, if you're interested, maybe talk to Paul about Campaign Agent. You might want to invite them to one of your training sessions to explain their service and how they can help you, but very much about helping vendors pay for marketing and also for you to get your commissions and so forth as well. and Listing Loop as well. So that was one of our most recent integrations. So very much they're about pre-market and off-market properties. So if you are doing that type of marketing of properties, you might want to consider looking at Listing Loop, but be assured we do integrate with them. So the idea is if you enter a property into Eagle, then it could be sent to listingloop.com.au. I think that's all that I have in terms of wanting to show you things within Eagle. Not sure, Paul, if anyone did. I had a quick look at the chat. Gillian's waved at me. Hi, Gillian. Good to see you. Good to see you at Oxbridge as well. You told me you were going to do that, so that's great. But did anyone have any other questions regarding the service or what I went through?
Yeah, I do have my own website, so I need to link the Eagle software into it.
Okay.
Apparently there's just a plugin that you guys have or something, Paul was saying.
Well, it depends on the website. So
WordPress.
WordPress website. Okay.
Yep.
There is an option for that. Your website will need to have, and I'll just bring this article up, and it is in our help desk notes. And the way to find it is to just type in integrate Eagle CRM with a third-party website. Okay. Now, what you need to do for WordPress or whoever's building your WordPress website, there's a plugin and it's called FeedSync. So it's not offered via Eagle. It's through this company called Easy Property Listings. If you get this plugin, we can feed to it. That's not a problem. Okay.
So it's an extension we've got to get.
Yes.
Okay.
It's normally done via your website developer.
Do my own.
You do your own. Okay. So you would need to do that, purchase this, build it into WordPress. If you're comfortable with WordPress, you shouldn't have an issue with it. This company will support you with that. So you can contact them. I think it's Merv, talk to Merv. And what we do is we send it via what's called the REA XML, which is basically the realestate.com spec. And your WordPress website will be able to receive the information and then display it on your website. And we can certainly send via Eagle.
Okay. And the other question I had was, like, when we put all this information in for our contact lists and things like that, does that stay private to us or is that for everybody to see?
Depends on how your account's set up at office level. So there are permission settings within Eagle. And again, this is something you might need to refer back to head office, but I'll just show you this just to reassure everyone. When you go and set up a user within the software, and I believe this is occurring, but if I go to Trevor, for example. So when you have your login and password, you can come down and whoever's setting up the account could disable certain things. So they'd probably untick this one, full access to all contacts, even contacts that belong to other users. So what that basically means is I only see my contacts and vice versa. Other people only see your contacts.
Okay.
Okay. So there is a whole range of different permission settings within the software. Okay.
That is just related to our specific user account, not to anybody else.
Correct. That's right. Okay. But I suppose if you have any questions regarding that, just refer back to, because I'm not aware of how head office set up your accounts. So I do believe there are different types of accounts for certain agents. So you need to talk about that with head office. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I could probably add to that, Trevor. Sorry. Yeah, by default, no one else can see your contacts. So no agents. That's unticked by default.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the case in a lot of offices too. Yeah. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. I've just got a couple of questions. Looks like Stafford. How does iDrop works with social media like Facebook and Instacos? I'm not really familiar with that. You would need to talk to them specifically. And as I said, it might be worthwhile getting them in to have a discussion with you all about how their service works. All that I know is that we've set up the integration. So what typically happens, and we get a lot where these specific providers of social media services or unique portals or whatever it might be, they always reach out to us and they say, can we integrate? And we're open to that. So that's fine. But it just means that you would have to go and approach them directly to find out what their rates are and so forth. So I suppose technically it's possible for us to deliver information to them, but what happens beyond us, I'm not sure. So sorry about that.
Thanks, Trevor.
Oh, good. Looks like Linda's here. Linda has a Wix website.
What is it called?
Ooh. Sorry. I think someone tried to ask a question there and then the
You
audio
there?
just went. Yeah, it's not the best line,
What
unfortunately.
do you call it on the CRM?
Uh, I'm just looking at the chat. I might answer this question. So someone with a Wix website. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the ability to integrate with a Wix website. It's just what Wix, it just doesn't have that facility, unlike a WordPress website, to have that plugin. Services like Wix and Squarespace and some of the other more well-known generic website solutions, they actually have their own development, their own plugins that they offer within that software. So unfortunately, yeah, we can't help with a Wix website. But I think if you were to consider one of our agent websites, it'd be a lot easier for you, especially if you're spending a lot of time uploading listing data onto your Wix website, because with Eagle, if you just enter the property once, it'll go straight away to that agent website or even one of the other websites as well. Okay. What's the cost for the websites? I'm going to have to come back to you on that one. So what we can do, we're talking with Paul because we're looking at rates for the Oxbridge members, and it does really depend which one you want to go for. So might be a case that we come back to you on that and just confirm the pricing. The agent websites, Paul, do you recall? I haven't been dealing with that part of it, if you know.
Yeah, I think the basic is pretty cheap. I think it's $40 or something.
About $40 a month.
Yeah.
That's right. There's no, and the other thing I will mention with our websites, there is no setup fee anymore. So we've actually removed setup fees for our websites. No setup fees. There are monthly fees. So the agent websites are starting from $40. To give you an idea, the plus ones, you'd be looking at around $250 plus per month for that type of website. But that's a serious website with all the bells and whistles on it. So that'll give you a bit of a range as to what the website fees are. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Bob.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to add, we do give you a free WordPress website, by the way, if you want to use that. We cater for everyone.
Good. Question for Paul and Trevor. This is Stafford here.
Yes, Steph.
How does, firstly, Trevor, does Eagle integrate, I mean, like the moment we upload a listing on the back end with the Eagle software and then it reaches domain or real estate, is there a possibility or tools, integration tools with FB or Instagram that it goes to that particular agent's farm area, wherever that particular agent is, using that agent or Oxbridge, FB links? Is there something like that Eagle has?
It is possible. You have a Zapier. Do you have a Zapier account, Paul?
Yeah, I was going to say Zapier. Yeah, Zapier a lot.
It is possible with Zapier.
Yeah.
Might need to reach out. Like we can do it at the head office level, but basically we would need to know who wants that to occur. But it is possible with Zapier. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If not, we'll have to use iDrop or Dropify, whichever one you spoke about, and then we'll have to individually go to the FB and try and try and get more listings or appraisals, not trying to launch the listing that was just listed. So I was just wondering if there are any integration tools. Yeah, but thanks for that. Thank you.
Yeah, it is very much a specific type of marketing. Like, you know, we are CRM providers, so I suppose we are storing data, we're distributing data, but for doing like specific advertising campaigns, like on social, that's really a little bit beyond what we do, and that's where you need to go out to those experts.
That's all right.
Not passing the buck much, but yeah.
I can probably pass it to me. I can probably answer that. Just a bit.
Go ahead, Paul.
So yeah, so the automation in Eagles is automated with Zapier.
Yeah.
So Zapier is a free software, and what happens is the automation is built in. So Zapier is really easy to set up. So you can zap anything, right? So what it is you go to Zapier, log in, you add Eagles, you add Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and then it automatically zaps. So you set up an automation in the back end. All right, when a listing goes up, zap to these social media websites, and that's what you do. We've done it before. We'll probably run a training session if you want, Stafford.
Yeah, no worries, Paul. You know, I mean, anything is fine with me. Yeah. Thank you so much for that.
good suggestion. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I can't see any more questions in the chat unless anyone else had any other questions. I might let you guys go. All good?
Hi, Trevor. It's Jill.
Oh, hi. How are you going?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good.
I'm just curious, is there anyone that can go through my stuff with me, i.e. my website, and help me sort it out? Because I sort of feel like I'm not using the resources as well as I could be.
Okay. Yeah.
But for me to sit down and find the time to sort out what I want to do with it all is just a bit much at times.
Yeah.
So is there anyone that is available to sit down and like tutor me?
Yeah, we can organize that. Just send it to me. So my email is trevor@eaglesoftware.com.au. And if you can put in a bit of a description what you're hoping to achieve as well, and then I'll reach out to the right person within Eagle to help you for that.
Awesome. Thank you.
No worries. Okay.
Perfect.
Well, I appreciate your time, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paul, again.
Thank you, Trevor.
Yeah, and if you'd like to do this on a monthly basis, we can do that. There's and it might not be me. We might introduce James into these sessions as well. James might have dealt with some of you as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're very happy to do this for you. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Trevor.
No
Appreciate
worries.
it very much.
Well, I'll say goodbye. Enjoy your day, everyone.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Paul.
Bye, Trevor. Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Yeah, cool. So we do have another session very shortly. It's 3 o'clock, I guess. So I might take an intermission. Man, it's been a long day today. But Rihanna's gonna jump on and talk about projects and Monday.com, Archistar, a whole bunch of stuff. So we will see you very soon. All good.
Thank you.
So yeah, bye. Bye.